Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. And we had some, at least interpretation wise, some bad economic news early this morning. The unemployment data or employment data was essentially not cooling off the economy as much as the talking heads would like. So the market did drop some. Bitcoin's down a couple percent. Though it did mostly recover from that drop early this morning and has been coming back. We're going into the weekend. We're at 19.5 now on Bitcoin. Would love to see a close over 20, but doesn't look good for today as we're going to be closing this daily candle in about 2 hours. But perhaps Saturday or Sunday would be we'd hit that goal. Let's go to my Bitcoin chart. Okay, you folks should be seeing my day chart for Bitcoin.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so we're still in the range we've been in since June, though I made a slight adjustment last week when we dipped. I'm down to 18.4 on the low side. We're at 24.4 on the upper side. I put in a secondary line of resistance here at 20,400 as we've hit this multiple times since late August. We haven't been able to push through. So that's sort of my short-term goal with Bitcoins, to push through that 20,400, close above it, then perhaps we would take off, up to 21, 25, and 30 even. So most crypto folks are optimistic that October will be a better month than Rectember was. So we will see. News-wise, we've had a lot of good news, but the economic data has been hurting us. There's some stories in here about, I was reading something about whale action has been accumulating, so that's helpful. Bull run might kick off soon, and I saw a couple other things about how Bitcoin should make a move in October. So cross those fingers. Hopefully it'll happen. On Ethereum, we have a similar area of resistance here at 1400, but the overall cycle or range is 1,000 up to 1980. But we are towards the lower part. I have made my taking one for the team. Some of you newer folks don't know that sometimes I do a random Ethereum short. And whenever I do that, the market tends to jump against my short position. So I did that earlier today, and sure enough, it's in the negative. So we'll see. Not much, and it's not a lot of money. I do it kind of as a joke, but actually in this bear market, it's actually made me more money than it's lost. So we'll see. But since I've been doing it in the last year or so, like I said, at least in the short term, when I do that short, the market tends to pump up. That's trading on superstition. I'm not encouraging that. But looking at the technicals, yeah, that 1400 range is something we need to push through and then close above to get that next level up to, say, 1600 on Ethereum. Okay, any questions or comments on the market overall? Okay, so what do we do now? Let's look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some trades going into the weekend. And I've got my Altcoin Alert open on the radar position. Easy mode is off. And I've done my AA score sort. Let's reload, get that updated. Okay, so the highest score, I prefer 80 and above, but I've lowered my standards in the last few months to 70 and above. So we have IOTA. It's been beaten down pretty hard, but trending up a little bit today. So it could be ready for a comeback, or it could keep trending down. Let's check it out. Got it open here. Take a quick look at the hour chart. Just trending down, and then a little movement up this afternoon. The 5-minute, at the top of the Bollinger Bands, not where I like to get in. If you want to set a price alert, try to catch a retrace, got a little bit of support here at 2630. And another entry area right about here, 2655. So you can see there's multiple touches here coming down, and then it tends to bounce back up. So again, short-term support in these two areas. So that would be one way to go. You can do your alert. Right click here, add alert, 2655. And AA score. And you're good to go. I'm actually looking for this to short, so we'll see what happens. So, and then the way I really like to do my alerts is on indicators on the 15-minute chart. So I'll bounce over here on the 15-minute chart. And I have made a change in my charts. I owe you folks a bit of an apology. I recently learned that the chandelier exit is, which is one of my favorite trend indicators, does repaint, which means it will move as the candles move to the right, and that's not what you want. You never want to use, well, you don't want to accidentally use a repainting indicator if you don't know it repaints. My divergence indicator repaints as well, but I'm aware of that, and I've got a plan for that when I use it. But my trend indicator, I don't want that to repaint. So I found another one that I'm testing. It's the SuperTrend buy and sell. And if you want to use it as well, I mean, there's lots of trend indicators. If you go here to trading view and type in trend, there's a bunch of them. And you can see I've started a lot of these. I've tried most of them. This is the one I'm using, SuperTrend buy and sell by Gucroft. I should look at this Lux Algo one too. They do some pretty good stuff. But I've got this one on for now. Click that on and you're good to go. I have made some changes to it though. I dropped the ATR period down to 1. I think I left the multiplier the same. The biggest is the style. I clicked off most of it. It's kind of a busy mess. And I don't like the bar colors in red and green in the trend as opposed to what the actual candle is doing. So I turn that off. I just leave the buy and sell indicators on, and I put them below the bar and above the bar. So actually I should start from the beginning, reset settings. All right, so when you download it, it'll look like this. And then these are the changes I've made. Get rid of the buy line, get rid of the sell line, get rid of the bar color. I don't really need these either. The inputs, yeah, 1 and 10. I guess I left those alone. So I've only been using this for a little while. It doesn't repaint. I tested that. So if you want to, use this and then match it up with other indicators that you like, I think that's the way to go. Plus it's alert friendly. If you right click on it, add alert, use SuperTrend, it'll give you a buy, or I don't know why it has 3 buys in here, but click buy or sell. And yeah, you may want to once per bar close is what I like to do, or once per bar. So that'll keep it on the whole day until you turn it off. That's the way I like to do my alerts. Set my alerts, go about my day. When they go off, come back to my computer and reevaluate. So on IOTA, you can set an alert to go long on this, and I just showed you how to do that, so I need not go through that again. I generally prefer dip trades. So I'm a little concerned about our market not bouncing back yet. So I've been doing kind of mixing trend alerts and dip trade alerts, but I just showed you the trend on the dip trade. We could look on divergence from any indicators. And you might recall divergence is a disagreement between the candle action and the indicators. So we have bullish divergence here on the green line. And that's a situation where the candle action's coming down, but the indicators are going up. So that does have some predictive value. You can actually get ahead of a move. And as you can see on IOTA, the last, on the 15-minute chart, the last couple days, bullish divergence has done pretty well. So on this one here, we got to move, 2.2%. This one, 0.8. You probably might still be in that one, so that's not a good example, but this entry here this morning would have been good. 1.48%. So not bad, but not great. And then the other alerts I like to use are on these indicators here, the MFI and the RSI. And what I'm looking for on the long side is for something to come down, break this 20 area, which is considered oversold, and then start to come back up. So we had that instance here happen yesterday at around 3 p.m. It dropped down, started to come back up. And we got this nice move here up to 1.5%. Same thing happened with this. When we had the economic news this morning, it dropped, started coming back up. Probably get in right about here. And you'd be up 1.6%. So, and the RSI, caught the same move. Actually, the RSI caught this one too, below 30, but it didn't do as well. It only went up about 0.8%. So, and how you do an alert on the MFI is real easy. Right click, add alert, crossing up on the 20, which is considered the oversold area. Once per bar closed, and then I like to put my information source, AA score, and you're good to go. Yeah, so don't just blindly take these alerts though. Make sure they match your other indicators are matching up, and then that'll give you a better entry than just throwing a dart at the board. Usually. Any questions on IOTA?
On your TDFI,
Mm-hmm.
have you adjusted that or changed it or evaluated it? What do you think of it?
It's one I use for confirmation. I have tried trading off of it before. It just tends to run a little late. I want to mess around with some of these inputs on it, but yeah, you can set an alert on this. Like, let's say you want to catch a long, you want to start trending up, and TDFI stands for Trend Direction Force Indicator. So the idea is to catch a strong trend. You can see how it's going up here and how this trend is going up. So I tried, 0.2, 0.5, 1 is areas to set alerts. Let's maybe try 0.4, right click on here, add an alert, crossing up, say 0.4. Yeah, once per bar close. So every time that happens, or you might want to do once per bar on this one. So. And again, your AA score is your source, and click create, and that'll give you an alert on the TDFI. So I actually use it, like I said, for confirmation mostly. When I've tried to trade off it, yeah, I probably didn't stay with it long enough. I may want to reevaluate that. So thanks for the question. Any other questions on the indicators or IOTA before we look at something else?
Yeah, can I ask you, CJ, what's the difference between 1 per bar and 1 per bar close?
It's a good question. On once per bar, which is this setting here, as soon as it hits your level, let's say on the crossing up on the 20, as soon as it crosses up above 20, anywhere in that candle, anywhere in the 15 minutes, it'll go off. Most traders like the once per bar close, because that'll make sure that the confirmation is a little bit, that the direction is a little bit better confirmed once the candle closes. And you hear me talk about, I want to see Bitcoin close at a certain place, and that just gives you a little more confidence, generally speaking, when something closes at a desired value, as opposed to just hitting it and maybe bouncing around before it gets to where you want it to go. So that's the difference. Once per bar is any time in that 15-minute candle on this example, and once per bar closes at the close of that candle. So this could theoretically hit 1 minute into the 15-minute into the 15-minute candle. So this one could trigger 14 minutes ahead of time, which seems desirable, but when the candle isn't closed, then it can do anything in that time frame. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good question.
CJ,
Yes.
I can't find how to get those MFI and RSI charts on my trading view.
All right, let's this is the indicator metrics and strategies area right here
Okay.
where I'm hovering. And if you just search, it usually goes to favorites, but you can go to community scripts. You probably won't have any favorites yet if you're new to this. Type in MFI and that comes
Okay.
up.
Which one do you use? Just money flow. That's it, right?
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Okay,
money
great.
flow index. And this is a trading view indicator.
Okay, great.
As opposed to some of these others that are created by other people. RSI, relative strength index. We talked about TDFI a minute ago, trend
Right.
direction. There's
Got
a
it.
couple of them. So I've got
Great.
version 2.
Thanks.
All right.
So you don't use the RSI indicator?
Yeah, it's right here.
No, I mean RSI with divergence.
That one is here. That is, I use the many indicators, and one of the ones that's included is the RSI. So if you look on here, see how that lists the indicators here.
Mhm.
RSI is one of them. So it'd be
Okay.
redundant to have one just dedicated to the RSI, because this one has. And if you go to this divergence from any indicators, it'll show you which ones it has. And a couple of them I turned off. Either I didn't know them or I thought they were duplicative. But I do have the RSI checked on. So. Okay, any other questions?
CJ,
Yes.
what do you think of the PS RSI? I know Alan brought that up the other day and for SNX, and he started to explain it, but it seems like an interesting one.
Privacy Smurf.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Terry.
yeah, it's all right. So that's here. Privacy
Yeah,
Smurfs
the
RSI.
lines flowed up and down. It seems like a good one.
Yeah, I'm mostly a day trader, and Terry's more of a swing trader, a long-term swing trader. So I really haven't used this yet, but I actually have a chart layout that has this on it when he and I were doing some trades together over the spring, but I kind of got away from it. I don't have a problem with it. I wonder how alert friendly it is. Okay.
Yeah, he
overbought,
didn't
oversold.
say, he didn't go over, what settings to put it on. So I was curious about that. Like, what the way he explained it and everything looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's got a 20 cycle. Yeah, I haven't used it, to be candid, in about 6 months, and I don't recall why I got away from it, other than I didn't like that it was really more useful for a longer time frame, in my opinion. But it could probably be adapted to be more useful on a 5-minute or 15-minute chart. So
Gotcha.
and Terry's really bright, and I'm gonna make a note to look at this. SRSI.
Terry has said that below an hour, he's doesn't really have a lot of confidence in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hardly ever trade the hour chart. Unless I'm really lacking confidence. And then I'm thinking, if I'm lacking confidence, why am I trading at all? So, and then he and I just have different styles. So it's not one is better or anything like that, but I like to do 3 to 5 trades a day. Ideally, depending on the market, you can only take what the market gives you. So, if you're on the hour, if you're doing alerts on the hour chart, and if you're following, 3 or 4 coins, you're probably going to do 1 or 2 a day, if that. Of course, if they work out, then who cares, but yeah, I like to be on the 15 and the 5. That's probably just because I started out that way. Actually, it took some cajoling to get me to move to the 15. I was really just using the 5 and trying to get 0.5%, 1%, things like that. But I just found that but I like alerts and I like indicator alerts, and I just find they work better on the 15, because say something like this goes off. Actually, this is a better example. Like this MFI or RSI alert goes off down here. If you bounce over to your 5-minute chart, it's probably going to be in a dip sequence. It's going to look something like this. So, that's why I like the 15-minute alerts, and I like trading the dips on the 5-minute chart.
Okay.
All right. Okay, lots of questions today. Awesome.
That's interesting. You're saying it's like you're going for 0.5% or 1% typically.
Well, that's how I started, and that's, if you're on my Monday Zoom, you'll hear me talk about iCoin Pro, and that's what they teach, the micro profit system. So, but I was a little greedier than that. I wanted to make more. I kept, you get out with 1% and the thing shoots up to 3% or 5%. It's like, man, I want to get more. And I just found that, if I paid more attention to support and resistance and use some of these 15-minute alerts, I was able to get those trades more frequently. So.
Do you use
Okay.
VPVR?
I have. I think that's the one Bryce uses with the volume on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the clutter on my chart. So I am tinkering with volume and momentum and some other indicators. So I'm always trying to make a better chart.
I want to add that one. What one is that called? VP what?
Yeah, VPVR.
VR. Okay. Yeah, because I like following Bryce on that one.
At least I think that's what it is. That's not it. Yeah, I don't know much about it because I don't use it. I know Craig in our group likes it and uses it, so he might.
VRVP.
VRVP. Yeah, see, I've even got it starred. So, and that's what you're used to seeing on
Correct.
Bryce's charts, that kind of thing. So.
Correct. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you just got to drag the chart, to the left or the right so
Yeah.
it doesn't get
Right.
overlap.
Right.
You can also adjust the amount or percentage of the screen that it shows.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a really good way to find support and resistance in longer terms. I didn't think it was very useful on a 5-minute chart, but on an hour or 4-hour, I think it would be pretty good idea. Okay, Oliver's asking, please show us the SuperTrend buy and sell indicator again. I went over that in some detail, so we'll see if we have time. Otherwise, you may have to catch the recording. I went through it kind of fast, but and I've only used it for a little while, so I'm not necessarily recommending it, but I like the idea of having a buy sell indicator and then matching it up with my other indicators and see if it's a good entry. Okay. Well, any other questions before we look at another one? I like this group.
Yeah, I have another one actually.
Okay.
As far as when you're talking about as far as repainting, and because you're concerned about that because it's a delay, or there's a time delay, or it's giving you false starts or false information.
Yeah, well, false seems a little harsh, but it's changing its mind.
So if you
Uh,
just refresh when does that solve that problem?
mm, it's a real problem for back testing. So if you're
Oh,
looking on
yeah,
a
yeah.
specific chart and you put on something that repaints, you're going to get a wrong idea on how it's done in the past. So like I know this one repaints too, this divergence one. So if I'm unsure, I'll go to this other one here that I haven't used that much, but like it, like this MFI one here could have originally triggered here and then here and then here. And because it could just keep moving down as the chart adjusts to the right, and we don't want that. That's bad for back testing. So you could look at this if you don't know that and think, oh wow, these this isn't a great example, but these, this indicator is amazing. And a lot of the ones you see on YouTube where they're saying, oh, 100% win rate and things like that, I've looked at those, and the ones that claim that kind of win rate are usually repainting. And they look great on back testing because they get the absolute best position and then stop. So, okay. Maybe we should talk about this. This is the multi-divergence non-repaint. I didn't like this one as much. Yeah, I didn't. It's not as alert friendly. It's got way too many options. So what I'll sometimes do is I'll let this one go. I'll put my alert on this one, and then I'll look at this one and see if they match up. Yeah, like this one triggered on this bullish alert here. And then, this one triggered later in a better position. So what I can do with this information is I can say, okay, this might repaint, but I had this earlier, this earlier trigger here on this other indicator that's looking for the same thing. So now that I've got two of them, my other indicators are starting to move up. MFI is curving up, RSI is curving up. The MACD is kind of slow, but the histogram's working its way up. TDFI is not with me yet, but that doesn't surprise me at this point. So that would be an entry, even though it did dip a little later. Gets me up here at 0.7% before it drops. It comes back up. Okay, fun and games with indicators.
So for me, when I'm looking at MACD
Mhm.
and I'm looking at the signal, for me, the only time I actually feel like okay, yeah, that's good. That looks good is when the signal is the blue's crossing over the orange on underneath, getting ready to go up, towards the upper side.
Yeah.
Other
like,
than that, everything else, it just feels like like that.
yeah, this is what you're looking for.
Right. Anything else just seems kind of like, well,
Well,
if
for
it's up
me, I like the
above,
cross. I'm just looking for this cross here.
yeah, right.
So in this scenario, if you're relying on the MACD, and it's not a bad one, it's just a little slow. You can tinker with the settings if you want, but I think I've got the default on this one. But you've got the MACD line crossing the signal line, and then you've got the histogram above 0 and in dark green, so that's usually a go if you're relying on this. I mean, you should look at other stuff too, but so that's where I would get in on a MACD cross. When we're in a bull market, I would often use a 1-2 dip, and then we wouldn't get a third dip because the market, pump up again, but I would look at the MACD for confirmation on that. But seems like a lifetime ago that I was doing that. Okay. Wow, we're half an hour in. We've only talked about one coin. I love it. Let's see what else we got. Oh, interesting. BNB is up. There's a hack on BNB, which probably
Yes.
just knocked it down some.
Surprising, it's up after that hack.
It bounced right back. This coin's resilient. Let's check it out. BNB.
Hey, CJ,
Hmm.
how many indicators do you use to confirm a buy or sell?
Well, the best way to do it is to have indicators that do different things, and which is why I'm reconsidering the MFI and the RSI, because I think they're too similar. You know, something for trend direction, for momentum, for volume. You know, so I've learned recently of the 5 energies. They just listed 3 of them, but you know, support and resistance would be one, and I forgot the other one, but having those all in alignment, you know, would be good. So if you have indicators that do different things, then, you know, like I've got this one for trend direction. You know, MACD and MFI and RSI though have similar functions. So these are just the ones I learned on. I may need to update this, but you can go to Heikin-Ashi candles and that will give you trend direction. But they're averages and not real. So yeah, there are some indicators that purport to put all these things together. But yeah, I think this setup here is pretty good, but I think I can improve on it. So I've got this dip here. It drops below on the MFI and the 15-minute comes back up, you know, right about here.
That was probably when they got hacked right there.
Yeah, it could be. So this is where I want to get in. I've got MFI pointing up, RSI pointing up, MACD is hooking up, that hasn't crossed yet, and the negative TDFI is pushing its way up, you know, at least to the middle. So these are all going in the direction I want. So that would be, you know, a potential go.
Okay, another question is, I normally work during the day. The last couple of weeks I've been working at night. But what is the best time frame to be looking at? Say if I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and I got to work all day to 4 o'clock, I don't get home. What is the best time frame to be looking at?
What time zone are you in?
Central.
So for Central, and the nice thing about crypto in the US is that you can work it around a full-time job, because some of the busier times are before you go to work and after you get home. You know, I'm here, you know, at home most of the day. So my trading is usually from about 7 a.m. Pacific to 11 or 12. Then I take a break from, you know, have lunch and do some other things till about 3 p.m. And then I start my second session of trading, you know, around 4 or so. And I leave my alerts on during that time if anything does happen. But since most of the trading is in Asia and Europe, you know, they're on different times than we are. So you can do some trading before and after. And, you know, if you have a smartphone with your exchange on it, you can keep track of things. You can break away from work from time to time and check things out. So it's doable. It's harder than, you know, being at home and having access to your computer all the time, but it's doable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But some people have to work for a living yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. So.
Oh, at my age, yes, there is.
Oh, well. Hang in there, buddy.
Yo, have been for many years.
All right. Well, let's check out BNB and see what we can do. Someone's blowing up my phone. Anyway. So on the hour, we had a pretty nice trend up. We had that dip this morning. Actually, this may have coincided with the hack. No, actually, this was probably the hack news right here, because this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. And then we have a drop and then some semblance of a recovery on the 5-minute. Okay, we're trending back up, sitting right on the midline here, the SMA line. So not a great entry. You know, you could wait for a dip down to this area around 280. Yeah, that has potential as a 280, 281 would be a good drop for a price entry or price alert. And then if you want to use the indicators, divergence, the bullish ones haven't done that well though. So yeah, there's 1.6 on this one, not bad, but not great. And then, yeah, they're both showing us the same entry, the RSI and the MFI. So that would be another option, but it's not moving. That's the downside of some of these bigger tokens like BNB, Ethereum, and Bitcoins. They don't move as much as some of the others. You know, the altcoins. BNB is an altcoin, but it's one of the bigger, larger cap ones, so it doesn't move as much. Guys, I am running way long, so I hope I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I have somebody waiting for me for my next Zoom. And I apologize. I try to go through at least 3 coins, maybe 4, you know, on the trading side, but I only got through 2 today, and to be candid, I'm not sure if I would take either of these just because they're not moving enough. But you know, set your alerts, your price alerts, or your indicator alerts, and go ahead and see what happens tonight and this weekend. Happy trading. Have a good weekend. If you're in Carbon, stick around. We'll start that Zoom shortly. See you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.